Hello YouTube, Kherny here from Kherny.com. This is episode 2 of my Gnomoria Let's Play series. Last episode we set up the basics, we put together some pastures for our animals, and we set up some fields for our crops. We've set up basic delving, our stockpile, our future guard room, a place for the market to be settled. We've got a dormitory, and we've started exploring down. We've gone down 3 levels and we've found some, if I remember rightly, some marble. Yep, marble. Now, what we'll be looking at doing now is possibly enclosing off some of these areas, just so I know. It's best to start defending now, getting preparations ready for any attacks that might come. I've spent a lot of time crafting usually, and this usually means that I don't give enough emphasis for the defense, so I usually get steamrolled later on in the game. We'll see how it goes this time, but what I'm thinking is to possibly block off some of these Chinese style areas and provide access from below, possibly as they come into the delving, maybe opening up a little area there for some stairs to give access to this little step. Actually, I think I will do that, so that way they'll be able to work in relative peace as long as I remove the ramps and wall off the access to those different levels. While I'm doing that, I'll also start on the crafting area. At the moment we've only got the basic crude workbench, which is the first one you have to build. Right, let's get started on that then. Start time. See what's happening. Right, they're all getting to work. Terrain. Remove ramp. Right, that's where they come in. Just start making it a little bit harder for anyone to get access. No, we don't want to cancel that. Controls can be a little bit finicky at times, so I'll just turn that music down a little bit. Now I'll leave a little gap so we can get access down here to all these resources, but at the same time limit how they can get to our kingdom. Let's make sure we did that. Actually, I can allow the ramps between these levels as long as I block off. Let's clear some of this. Right, you can see where these yellow markings are. As we clear this off, if I placed a wall there, say, and there, the only access would be up this ramp here to get into this area, or possibly from inside the base. So ideally I want to be self-sufficient with only a small entrance which is heavily defended. Let's just move the rest of these ramps. Oh, there we go, I must have already set some up there. So there's no access from above. Would have worked out a little bit better if there was some larger areas, but I mean I could go there. No, we'll make do with what we got. I mean you can terraform the land, but it takes a bit of time. Oops, should have been cancelled job. Right, let's have a look. So we've done that. Say to there. Saying that I may as well carry it along. Make it the same all the way along. Right, I'll wall off that area in a little bit. Quite a lot for them to be getting on with. Probably the same here. Say to there for now. Right, that looks good. Right, I'll leave them there. I don't really need to do that at this point. Until a little bit later, we'll come and do that. Right, so there shouldn't be any access to these levels here from this one here. Right, that looks okay to me. Let's let them get on with that. Now, we've got... We might just expand that a little bit. It's a bit small, that. A little tip, if you overlap where you're designating an area, it will take on the properties of the area that you've already designated. So for example, if I set a pasture here, it'll ask me to set up the properties as if it's a brand new pasture. If I overlap, see it's got turned blue there, and do this, it just takes on the properties that already exist, which is a bit of a time saver when you just want to expand. Make that a little bit larger. Let's see what we can put in there now. That gives us a size of 81, and each animal is 6, so that's 10, 6, 12, that's about 13 animals. Yeah, that's right. Right, okay, we'll let those little couple of fields carry on. Let's pause it for a second. Oh, let's have a look. 2 people have fallen asleep on the floor. There's not a lot we can do about that at the minute. We've got the dormitory set up, but it'll be a while before we'll have any beds or anything in there. Right. Stockpile's coming along nicely. Might just make that a little bit larger. Now, the thing about the crude workbenches, it's not very efficient. So you're better going on to the next tier as soon as you can. Now the question is, where am I going to place it? Do I go to the next level and have a crafting area? Although you've got to think about the distance of travel as well, because all these resources will have to be brought to the crafting area. Now I do want to provide access to these two levels here, or even just to this level here, and they'll be able to use the ramps to visit that next tier. So let's do that. Now what's the best way to come at this? Looks about right. Let's build some stairs up. From no, we don't want to get clever at the moment. Let's just do it with any dirt clump, really. Well, I don't think that's the best way of doing that. Right. Let's just have a look a second. If we build stairs down, do you know, I can't remember now how we do it. Let's have a look. Tell you what, easy way, let's come from above. Problem solved. Oh, there we go. Let's cancel that job. Should have done that in the first place. Now, that'll give us a little way to get to that second level. Actually, I'll remove those ramps then while they're doing that. Looks like everyone's asleep. Land of the zombies. A lot of the early game is just setting up defences, you know, laying out where you want everything to go. Saves time later. New day. get rid of that tree. Now if we block that area there off, that should stop all access. Oh, we need to do that level as well. Doesn't look pretty, but it's okay for the moment. It's a shame they haven't got a instead of a 90-degree rotate, just a mouse rotate. Be a lot easier. Can be quite disorientating. Let's also remove the ramp there. So we'll come back to that. We need to fix the 2 holes where the trees are going, and also a wall for that ramp. Alright, that gives us access to the lower level resources. There's a well going to be built when we get the time, when they've got some more stone and wood. Okay, I think that's okay. We'll know when the goblins start to come. Oh, there we go. They're starting to remove the ramps nicely there. There's a lot of patchy clay areas as well that you can't, that grass won't grow on. So it's a bit of a pain. I can always replace that with soil at a later date. Right, now. Have a look. We want to do some crafting, so ideally not too far from the stockpile. Let's have it here. Now we need to give room to the stockpile to expand. So say we go about here. Now the rooms are 3 by 3, although I do like to have a little area. Oh, let's do that. Like so, possibly. I either have 1 extra square for a torch to light up the room, or sometimes I'll do 3 in case I want to have some crates positioned in there to hold resources locally for that particular type of crafter. Say it's a stonemason or something, a couple of crates full of stone that make it a little bit easier when he comes to craft. He can just go back and forth from the boxes that are stored in the extra squares there. Now I'll leave that there like that. That'll be the first 4 crafting rooms. And we're going down below. Let's expand the old delving. Get some stockpile of marble. We'll need plenty of it. There we go, nice. Now they're working on the, oh there we go. build a wall, fill that gap in. Silly me. Now, can they get there? I don't think so, once they remove those ramps. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to get behind there. We'll soon find out. Excellent. I can now remove this little ramp by the entrance here, as they can use those stairs instead, which they are doing. How are we going along here? Excellent. Let's finish off the walls. Oops. Right. We just get it done at the moment. The mini wall of China. Now, what I'd like to do is, if you read one of the tips on the review I put on Kherny.com, when I did a review of Gnomoria, mini review, you'll see one of the tips I said was about placing a pasture for yaks in front of the access to your delving. Now, I will be putting one here. Once I don't want to waste these trees at the moment. I want to build some more fields of trees that I can get easy access to and farm quite easily. So once I've got that in place, I'll clear this bit and build a yak field, or whatever kind of animals I've got at that time, so that anything that comes into my kingdom will pass through that, will get weakened before my troops have to deal with them. Actually, I'd better start setting up some areas for the trees, or start thinking about it. Actually, it's not very well set up. I might just use these areas here. Let's pause that for a second. No, let's not pause it. Let's chop down that. Is it a beech? I think that's a beech tree. This little ledge will be. Oh, what's going on there? Naughty. Oh no, they did it. Have to be careful, as they can. If you don't plan carefully, they can block themselves in, or keep me on them. I'll let them get on with that. They seem to be able to access it. Yeah, sometimes you have to be a little bit careful about how you plan things. It can cause you problems. Well, let's do a grove. No, sorry. Let's clean this up first. Forage. Let's just pick up anything that's on the floor there, and then I'll turn that area into a apple tree grove. This one down here I'll turn into a beech, and I'll probably have a pine there. Ah, there you go. That's what I was talking about. Now he's blocked himself in there. Now I'll turn that. Actually, there is a way to do this. I'm just trying to remember which way it is now. Ramp up or ramp down. Ah, right. Let's solve it this way. Yep, there we go. We'll sort that out. Right. Ah, that's better. Now we've got the first 4 rooms dug out. Let's start building them. First one, you want a sawmill, and how should we align them? Yeah, that would be. That's better. That'll do. Right, a sawmill. Now I think I preset that up to always have some planks. Now we want more than that. Actually, let's cancel that one. And we'll make any plank up to, we'll make sure there's always 20, we'll craft to 20 planks once any task is done, so there'll always be a stockpile of 20 wood there, although this won't be around for much longer, this crude workbench, once this sawmill is built, as that's a lot more efficient. So, but we'll leave that as it is for the moment. We've got that on 5, so that means they'll rush to do that, based on my priority system. Now the other workshop we want, if I remember, is a stone mason? No, stone cutter. Now we'll get the first 2 workshops being built. Next day's dawned. 4th day of spring. Auto pauses, which is always helpful. Right, there we go. What's he built there? A birch workbench. You can specify the materials that you use to build anything, so you could have it all very coordinated. Everything in birch or pine. Say, for example. No, sorry, you won't do that yet. Right, let's have a look how our little Delphin's getting along. Oh, no one's had time to go down there yet. Well, that's okay. What's he up to? Bipsy the builder. Bipsy is idle at the moment. He shouldn't be idle. He should be working hard. He obviously likes his privacy then. Now our little gnome got free of that death trap. That's good. Oh, had me worried for a minute. Oh no, we're going to get a repeat, I think. Yeah, I think we are. No. Right, okay. How are you going to do that, mate? There you go. Terrain. Build terrain floor. Any clump of mud. Now that'll get on with that. Excellent. They're taking all the apples off the trees as well, which isn't a problem. Oh, there we go. That wall's been built. That's good, good. And we look pretty good along that line there. Oh, see, there's a ramp we missed. See how that comes along. How's our stock? 108 drinks, 200 food. Right, well we've got yak milk, although not a lot of it. We need them to breed really. Takes a while to get started. Then believe me, there'll come a point where you can't stop them and you'll be inundated with yaks. Everything's going to plan. Right. Speed it up a little bit. See what everyone's up to. Our woodcutters aren't doing anything, neither is the rancher, and neither are the two builders. Okay. What we'll do, if you go to the professions tab, you can look at the current craft professions. Now if you go up to builder, you can see what they're actually assigned to do under the builder tab. Now they will haul and they will build things, so that's okay. Our woodcutters will woodcutting, carpentry and wood carving, and also hauling. Okay. We might take one of those builders and make them a woodcutter and change what the woodcutter does. First of all, let's just look at the ranchers though. Ava is the only rancher at the moment. Leather working. She looks after the animals. Does some cooking if there's any need. And any hauling. Okay. Could do with overhauling this, but we won't do that in a minute. Let's just... I've reduced the builders down to 1 as we don't need a massive amount of builders at the moment. We'll have 3 woodcutters. Right, a little pause there, a little think about that. I'm not going to change Bipsy to a woodcutter. I'm actually going to leave her as a builder for now. The crafts, the way they've been assigned at the beginning is fairly even. What I normally do is I'll set up a crafting class where I'll have all the crafters will be under a crafter profession, and that crafter profession will be responsible for working any of the workshops. I'll also have a militia set up for my military that all the gnomes who are not directly in the armed forces will be involved in. Sort of a standby territorial army, but we'll be doing that a little bit later. Right, let's leave these assigned as they are for now. I've sped it up a little bit. Let's increase the size of that stockpile. As I said, if you overlap an existing one, it will take on the properties of the previous one. And let's expand that again, actually. Give them something to do. There's some idle gnomes. Right. When he wakes up, he can come away from there, do what he's got to do. That's been walled off nicely at that end over there. Excellent. And they're foraging everything they can. That'll all be taken to the stockpile soon. Right. They're working on the edges. Looks good, it's hard to tell. Looks okay from here. God, I've disorientated myself. Right. I'll start chopping down some of these trees here, the apple ones, to make room for some more beech. Just want the apple trees on this level. And this level I will probably, if I take cuttings here, I can use them to plant on that level. Get rid of that tree. Right, I'll assign this level here as a grove. I'll just start it off there. Now we'll... Right, we won't let them fell the trees at the moment. There's no fruit to pick on this level as it's going to be the beech. We'll let them cut clippings and plant saplings. Now we'll just expand it. As long as we overlap it, it'll maintain the properties of that previous one. Not ideal, but it'll do. Remove that designation, that wasn't a part of it. And a new day has dawned. Slow going at the moment. Right, that'll be a little grove. Do the same for the apple trees. Apple. We'll allow them to plant saplings, cut clippings, pick fruit, but not fell the trees, so it'll only increase in size. Give that a priority of give it 6 for the moment. I'll have to refresh my mind on the priority system I'm using. Ah, here we go. Now, we've built a stone cutter. Now, what we want him to do, well, basically, the only stone we've got is marble, so we'll tell him start crafting blocks. Ah, now you can see there, one of the things I like about a recent patch was they auto queue up any jobs they need to in a workshop. So while they're building this one, they say for this one, for example, if they needed any stone items to be built, they'd auto queue them in the nearest crafting workshop that's capable of making them. As you can see there, now that's for building the well. So they're making blocks there. I think it's about 4 stone blocks to build the well. Now we'll leave that, and we'll make sure that once they've done that, the backup task they'll do is always make sure there's at least 20 marble blocks here. Now we'll give that a priority of 8. We're not going to assign a node to it at the moment. Go back and close that. Let's just check my priorities again. $10 for the main stockpile. Let's designate the area. Now that's got a 9. Let's expand that. Now that's good. Well, they stockpiling there some marble. Excellent. Picking up all the mud as well, although not really helping me because they're picking it all up from outside. Clippings all being done. Excellent. That's right. I was just designating the area for the grove. Just got to make sure it overlaps. That way you won't have any problems. honey badger's been spotted and it's paused. I've set it to auto pause. Now they can be quite aggressive and they're quite tough as well. And I haven't got any armed gnomes of any kind at the moment, which I may have to change. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll run away, but I don't think it's going to get very far there with that wall. Right. We're going to have to do something about that. Let's set up, first of all, a new uniform. That uniform will have any copper, because basically you start off with 2 pieces of copper armor, a helmet and a breastplate, if I remember. Now for weapons, we'll just say any for the moment. Now what we've done here is we've set up a uniform. We'll call that copper. Now we're not interested in the level of quality at the moment. Now, so we've set up some copper uniform. Now we'll build a new squad. We'll call them the Quick Tighteners. We'll leave it at that. Formation, a basic formation with basic soldiers in it. No one's assigned to it. Now we've got a copper uniform. Now a basic soldier will wear a copper uniform, and a perk we will have, we'll choose, what do I normally choose? We'll leave on frenzy for the minute. Right, we don't need to maintain distance. There's no point retreating if bleeding, as we haven't got any bandages. We won't pursue lost targets. We want them to bleed to death on their own in the wilderness. Right, formation. A basic formation will have basic soldiers in it, and a perk they will have for the squad is best defense. Increase melee weapon damage for each member with a melee weapon. Well, it'll give them a slight bonus. Now they'll perform attack orders. If I tell anyone to attack anything, these guys will. The basic formation means they'll do that. We will allow any soldiers that are under this setup to defend other gnomes, and we won't have them avoid enemies. That's something for, say, if you set up a militia and you stick your craftsmen in it, and you can have them avoid the enemies. Now, the Quick Tighteners are going to be using that basic formation, and we need to put someone in it, basically. Let's go back. 2 builders, 2 farmers, 2 miners, a rancher and 2 woodcutters. I think we'll go with tin. tin's now joined the quick tighteners. Let's find out where tin is. Ah. Hold on, let's have a look. Profession. I think I've done that correctly. Copper. A basic soldier. Will. Yeah. I think that looks okay. Okay, we'll see what happens there. There we go. They're going to be excellent. Found some coal. We'll set that up. Right, so we haven't managed to get an awful lot done this episode, but so far we've got a stonemason and a sawmill. Sawmill's in progress. The crude workshop's still working at the moment. They're working on building up the sawmill for us. We've increased the size of our stockpile. We've mainly been doing a bit of terraforming, and I think we've made it reasonable. We've started 2 groves. That honey badger's still wandering around. I'm a bit concerned about him, especially as I've fenced him in. If I thought I could, I'd wall him off, but okay. I've started the armed forces. Now let's actually, just before we end there, let's designate that as a guard area. We won't assign any squads there at the moment. As we need a training hall anyway. And I think we'll call that it for episode 2. Next episode we'll be looking at expanding a new grove, building more workshops and digging deeper, and hopefully, no, we've got a little while to go for the next season, get some new recruits. Currently we have 9 gnomes, and our kingdom's value at the end of episode 2 is 2,000. Right. Okay, we'll watch that each episode and see what happens. Well, thanks for tuning in. Episode 3 will be up soon.